conversation with Jack Anderson this afternoon about that.
Okay. What was your reaction when you found out that 10 years of your career, and a very important 10 years of your career, had been essentially ruined by one comment and by a series of phone calls from one man?
Frightened. Particularly in our country, where we have all of these promises that you can do these things. You do have freedom of speech. So it was very frightening.
What happened?
From the dossier, it says that he picked up the phone, called the FBI and the CIA to get something subversive on me. And when they were not able to get anything subversive on me, they came back with all sorts of nonsensical type gossip. Say that she's difficult and moody, she's a spoiled brat, she's a sex nymphomaniac, and all of these crazy things. See how your tax money is being spent so tomfoolishly? And as a result, when one of the representatives of the government goes to a venue where you have been working or you are working or perhaps might be working in, the management doesn't want these people on their doorsteps for obvious reasons. They just don't want to be in a position to tackle the White House.
What amazed me was that it filtered out that quickly, that it could be that total. Do you really think that there was a conspiracy?
Of course I do. That's what the dossier said. And I have the dossier, thanks to Jack Anderson and his people. But I didn't know...
When did you get it?
I didn't get it until, I think, 1975, November of 1975.
So you've had it for about a year.
Yes, something like that. But before I got the dossier personally, the New York Times called me and asked me if they could print what was on the dossier. And when they read it to me on the phone, all of these nonsensical things, and obviously it was a tremendous relief to me, because then I could put my finger on why I was being without work in the United States. Because obviously they had been tampering with my mail and had been in my home and going to places asking questions about me.
How quickly did it happen? You had lunch at the White House?
Within 2 hours. That's it. Because he picked up the phone and called the nation, networks across the nation. Now, we don't know whom they call.
But how quickly did you feel it? Within a couple of weeks you started to lose your...
Within a matter of months. Within 3 weeks, actually. Because I was engaged in a hotel in Los Angeles, and suddenly there was no contract.
Are you bitter?
No. I'm sitting here talking to you, and what goes around comes around. Look at what has happened to these people. Look at what's happened to the United States since then. Look at what has come out through people like Jack Anderson and the newspaper media and through the television media. That is, a lot of people who have been culprits in the government have been identified.
But honestly, if something like this happened to me and it took 10 years out of a good career, I know you're an international star, consequently you were not without work.
That's right.
But I'd feel a little bitter. Aren't you a little annoyed, a little angry, a little more than just scared as you answered the first question?
No, I'm not bitter at all. I'm not a person, and it may be unhealthily so sometimes, I'm not a person to hold grudges, because I feel it's a waste of my energies. And the punishment or whatever it is that one does is going to be handled by fate anyway. And if whatever you give in life will come back on you.
Do you think it could happen today?
I wouldn't be surprised. What makes you think there have been any, or if you do, that there have been any tremendous changes? The dossier obviously is still there. It hasn't been burned or destroyed that I know of. And the results of that dossier, in the future, no one knows what is going to happen with officials in our government who might be with that kind of attitude that Johnson had. During that 10-year period,
what did you think of the most with regard to you're not, as I've read, you're not feeling as though you were in public demand?
Well, first of all, you start blaming yourself because you don't know why. You start saying, well, there's something wrong with me, maybe. Maybe the public doesn't want me anymore. The love and that you were getting from the public before is not there because you are not working in front of the public anymore. But I don't think that I would be bitter anyway, because I have been always very, very lucky being an international star. I was a star in the European countries before I was a star in America, so it was there for me to go back to. And I think in that way I've been very lucky. So, in that way also, I can also be very forgiving. Not forgiving for what had happened to me, but like it says, forgive them for they know not what they do. And God takes care of these things anyway. All of these things are in the hands of fate. Maybe it is meant for me to have gone through that. It makes you self-analyze yourself to find out what kind of person you really are. How much really can you take as fate is throwing those cards out at you?
What are your hopes now?
That our government gets in the position where they start doing those things that have been promised to us. The freedoms here and the freedoms there, and the freedom from want and equality for all mankind.
What about your professional hopes?
Well, I would, of course, like to pick up where those 10 years left off. To go back to where I was, in the position where I was in 1968, if not even higher than that, because I don't think that one will ever feel that he's reached its goal. You've reached your goal. Not that I can classify a goal particularly, but to be at the top of the boards the way I was before the government took it away from me.
What do you want from your audience?
The love and affection that I feel for them.
What do you think they want from you?
The love and affection that they want from me.
As far as futures are concerned, what kinds of roles would you like to pick up from here?
That's very interesting because I've always wanted to do Medea. And I think lots of times I've been asked to do Medea, and I haven't for many reasons. I don't think that I was quite mature enough to understand the character in my earlier years. Now I think I am mature enough up here. And the fact that I had a child, and Medea, she destroys her 2 children, you know, and I think I was thinking psychologically in myself that maybe it might take some kind of toll on my child, and I didn't want to take that chance.
That's really interesting. How old is she now?
She's 16.
Mm.
She's 16, and she really is worthwhile. I'm so glad that I brought her into this world.
It all happens so quickly, too, doesn't it? It grows so quickly.
Yes, and she's wonderful. She's a really wonderful child. I've never had any trouble with her. I like her as well as love her.
Do you live the kind of life that people think you live?
Like what my dossier says? Of course, what am I going to say? If one asks you a question like that, nobody's going to believe you, so therefore there isn't a real answer. But no.
In short?
In short, no.
Well, I think most people do feel that someone like you must have a marvelously, in a word, glamorous existence. From what you just said to me, where you sound so terribly devoted to your child, I have a feeling you spend a lot of days and nights doing what we all spend days and nights doing. And
with your children. That's what my position is as a mother. That's why I've never, since she was able to travel with me, I've traveled with my child since she was 3 months old, when the doctor says, okay, she's strong enough now to be able to ward off diseases and things like that. You can carry her with you. And I breastfed my child the same as you are doing. That's my duty as a mother. I want to know my child, therefore I have not put her off on someone else to take care of, like the housekeeper or a nanny of some kind. Of course, I have help, but the job is mine.
Where do you make your home now?
Los Angeles. I've been living in Los Angeles for 21 years. Even though they say you come home, but I never left America. I've just been, for obvious reasons that we've spoken about, not in the public eye.
During these 10 years, what portion of your year was spent in the United States?
I would say at least 3 or 4 months of the year was at home in Los Angeles. But between Asia, like Hong Kong, Bangkok, Switzerland, not Switzerland, I haven't been to Switzerland, but Sweden and Finland, those areas of the world, England, I've been working.
And Timbuktu?
Yes.
Are you loving it?
I am loving it. It's a lot of fun, the show. The public adores the show. And we ourselves, as the cast, are having a wonderful time with it.
What about the reviews, though? They have been mixed. Do you try to avoid reading them?
No, because I think that the critics were very fair, actually. I think that they were very constructive, and it's critiques that we can build on. And they said the right things. I have no criticisms about the critics at all in this case.
From here, besides your desire to get into some heavy roles,
and also a musical comedy. I've also been asked to do a play from London that was written by Norman Kastner called Bunny, which is a comedy. And we did it in London. It was very successful there, so we may do it here too after Timbuktu.
Do you think your drives are as strong now as they were 10 years ago?
Drives in which way?
To be, as you said, on the top of the heap. Do you think that the energy is concentrated enough?
Oh, yes, but you see, I've never really thought about I'm going to be at the top, one of these days. I never thought about those things, though it was in the cards. Therefore, all I had to do was do my job to the best of my ability, and fate took care of the rest. And I'm quite sure she'll do it again.
The demands of the family, the demands of the theater, are they in conflict?
I don't think so. It might be when you are married to a man who is, and you know what I mean when I say that, who's jealous. He's jealous of your position. He's jealous of the fact that you're so popular and that you get along very well with men, for instance. They get very suspicious,
Did you find yourself in that position?
That's why I'm telling you this. But as far as my child and I are concerned, the child knows what kind of life I have. She's with me 97% of the time because she goes to an international school, so I can put her in school wherever we are. And therefore she knows what Mommy's world is all about. But she also realizes that, and she said this, what is it that about your mother that you like so much? He said is that she is not Eartha Kitt when she's at home.
Or that she is Eartha Kitt when she says that.
She's Eartha May when she's Mommy. She knows I'm her mother. I'm her mother. When I'm working on the stage and in the theater, she recognizes that mother or that friend. But the fact that she knows who I am as a mother, I think that's terribly important.
Sounds like it's terribly important to you, too.
It is very much so. And I think that the responsibility of my work and being a mother has not really been a conflict, even when I was breastfeeding her. I used to stand on the stage and, the natural functions would be revealed that, the milk is coming. And I would have to immediately, explain to the audience, and we would laugh about it. And I'd go down to my dressing room and feed my child. My mother-in-law used to say, Eartha, how in the world can you be schlepping around the world with your baby on your hip and her nappy bag in the other hand? And we'd be flying across the Reforma Boulevard or in Rome, dodging the traffic. And it was fun. I've had a tremendous amount of enjoyment being a mother and a lot of fun having that child.
Good luck to you. We'd love to have you back on again. Wonderful meeting you, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of Eartha Kitt.
Thank you very much, Marjorie.